Good day, folks. In this one, we're going to go over particle effects and have some fun. So another pretty easy one to sort of continue our streak of not terribly difficult ones. We have to add a few lines of code, and then mostly we're going to be working in the Unity editor. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use some of the pre-made assets. We're going to go to our art folder, Sprites, and then VFX, yes. Let's go ahead to our particle sprites here, set the sprite mode to multiple. The pixels per unit we're going to set to 100, and let's apply there. And then let's open up our sprite editor and bring this over. And we got to do some cut it up, man. So we got our sprite editor up. We're going to go ahead and click on this button here, set the type to grid by cell count, and it's going to be 4 rows and 4 columns. Okay, so column and row, we'll say 4 by 4. Slice that up. Click on apply. What that did, 1, 2, 3, so there we go. So we've got our different sprites all set up and ready to go, and we're going to go ahead. And we can exit out of this, and now we can sort of expand it if we need to. We can see those have already been sort of been sliced up. So anyways, let's go ahead now, and we're going to be creating some particle effects. So let's click on this plus button. Then let's go ahead to, it's going to be the effects. We're going to create an effect. Am I not seeing it? I'm going to pause here a second. I hate when that happens. It was just literally in front of me. Create an effect, particle system. I don't know what a particle system force field is, but hope to learn about it someday. So let's click on particle system. We've created particle system, so let's go full screen here. So you're going to be, I don't know, even already, we've done nothing, and it's already been exciting. Also, one thing, I don't know why. It sort of sets this, and I had a heck of a time during my practice round trying to figure out why it was doing this. But where it says here, when you create your particle effect, make sure the z-axis is set to 0. I don't know why. Mine defaulted to sort of some crazy value, but make sure your z is set to 0. It's odd. But okay, so we can go ahead, and there's a lot of different settings here. Okay, the biggest one, if you're ever looking for something and you're like, I can't find it, another place where I sort of got a little lost in my practice round, see this particle system can be expanded. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make some adjustments to this. We're going to use the sprites that we created. I'm going to go ahead and just lock this. Click on that lock button so it sticks around, and just expand this because I'm going to need to be using this. So let's go ahead then, and we're going to go to our texture sheet animation section. So that's going to be, let's scroll down through here, and there we go. So you see here you can scroll down. We go to texture sheet animation. We have to click this button to enable it, and we click it to expand it. Okay. Now the mode we're going to set to sprites, okay? And we're going to set it so that instead of just one sprite, we're going to have 2 sprites. So let's click on this button here, the little plus button there. And so for sprite 1, click and drag here. Sprite 2, click and drag here. So already you see hey, that's kind of interesting. Now for the we're going to be setting it up so that they sort of alternate, okay? So what we'll do is in the start frame property, let's click on this button here, and we're going to set random between 2 constants. And we're going to set it so 0, and we're going to say here, and so set it between 0 and 2. Now why is it not 0 and 1? That's because the second number is what's called exclusive. Okay, so what's going to happen is that if we see here that's sprite 0 and sprite 1, the options here between that start frame that are sort of, why does it go to 1.998? That's very weird. Okay, well, There we go. We'll set it so the random between those two constants. Not sure why it goes 1.998. It's like it's, should we say 2 points? No. Will it accept a 1? Yeah, but that's weird. Okay. 0 and 2, that is correct. That's so weird. Okay, anyways. We want to go ahead and also get rid of this frame over time. So let's right click on it. And then what we'll do is, we'll go to the rightmost point. Oh, here we go, remove. There it is. Cool. All right, so what we'll do is, let's click there, and then we want to go ahead and click on this button here, that rightmost point, and now we click on delete, because we want to have it set so it's just flat like that. Good. All right, so we're going to now go ahead to the shape section. So let's go ahead up there. So let's go to shape. Shape, expand that. And we're going to go ahead and set the radius to 0. And then what we'll do is change the angle to 5. And it can't do exactly 0, it can't do 0 exactly, so it'll be just a little bit close. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add some randomness. So let's go ahead, and this is where I was talking about before. I was like, I can't find this stuff. So if you open up particle system again, like sort of the main thing here, we're going to go ahead and set our start lifetime. Let's go ahead here, and we're going to do the between two constants again, random between two constants, and we're going to set these numbers to 1.5 and 3. Okay, and then what we're going to do is let's go to our start size, and we're going to make these a little bit random. We're going to set these again, random between two constants. It's going to say 0.3. and 0.5. And then start speed, we're going to do the same thing as far as random between two constants. And we'll set this to 0.5 and 1. Okay, thank you, Bell. So you can see here, got a bit of some smoke coming out there, looking pretty cool. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that it's going to fade away, so that instead of having them kind of like just poof, we're going to get it so that they slowly kind of transition from basically solid color to transparent. Okay, and there's, again, folks, with this section, there's no right answer. We're just having some fun right now. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead to color over lifetime. Let's enable that. And let's click on this. Let's go to gradient. That's good. And click on the actual gradient. Let's bring this over. So what we're going to do, where did you go, gradient? I have to like bring it up again. There it is. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to click on this top right part here, and then we're going to set the alpha to 0. And what that does is it basically sets it like as it comes to the end of its life, it's going to slowly fade away. It's going to go to slowly to transparent. And it's really not that bad. And so the last thing we're going to do is let's go to size over lifetime, enable that, and then we're going to go ahead and adjust this. We're going to keep it as a curve. Okay, so where it says here size, see how it's sort of like whoop. Let's set it, let's use one of these sort of pre-made curves. Okay, and set it so it's just like that, and that basically will set it so that not only will the smoke slowly, its color start to fade and go to purely transparent, it's also going to slowly get smaller as well. All right, there's our smoke. Let's also just call this, instead of particle system, let's call it smoke. Okay, there we are. Let's go ahead then. We can actually unlock our editor. Let's set our smoke into our whoa, come on now, calm down. Let's go here to prefabs. There we go. Got that in our prefab folder, and we can delete it from our main sort of our project. We're going to go ahead and make our smoke as a child of our robot. So it's going to be basically something that it'll be a particle effect that will be associated with the robot. So we click and drag it on the robot. Let's make sure we're over here in robot land. Let's also move this smoke. So I selected the smoke, go ahead to our move tool, and then let's set it so it's like kind of like coming out of the robot's head. We could do it, and again, no right or wrong answers here, folks. Should we have it set, I don't know, like this? Or like this? Let's try it just so it's like, kind of like that. So it's like coming out like kind of his back like that. I think that works for me. Okay. All right, the other thing we're gonna do with our smoke is we're going to set it so that it is, the simulation space is going to be set up so that, like here, I'll show you what it looks like if we simulate it. So let's run the game and then check out. So you see kind of like how the smoke is following the robot. We want to set it up so that it's like a little bit different. So let's open up our smoke, and then where it says simulation space, let's set it to world. That will then set it up so that the physics look a little bit different, okay? I don't know, I still don't like where that smoke is. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, last thing, we're going to set it up so that we're going to be having it so that the robot will stop smoking once we hit it with a cog, okay? So we're going to have to create something in the enemy script. So let's go to scripts. Let's go to the enemy controller. Okay, we're going to start off and we're going to create a particle system called smoke effect. Okay, so we'll also make it public. So let's go ahead here. It doesn't really matter as long as it's within your enemy controller. Let's say public, and then this is going to be particle system. And we're going to a public variable of the type particle system. And let's call this smoke effect, semicolon. Okay. Let's save it, and then let's go back here. Check out our robot. Give it a moment to load. Okay, so we've got our robot here, and let's actually scroll down, and we see here that it's like, hey, I can take a particle system effect. So let's drag the smoke to that particle system. And now, let's go back to our code, and we're going to add a new function. Actually, where is that new function? Give me a sec here, folks. I think I got to go to the where's fix? I'm looking for fix. Well, you have a function called fix, so let me just paste it in. It's weird. I had this. I checked this earlier, and I'm not seeing it. But okay, so I'm just going to paste this in, and you should already have this function, but if you don't, here it is. Okay, so let me delete this line here. Okay, so we have here smoke effect.stop. That is going to go ahead and say to if it gets, because we have with our projectile and with Ruby that if the projectile detects the collision with the robot, it's going to call the fix function and fix the robot. It's going to stop moving. It's also going to disable its hitbox, if we remember. So the other thing with the smoke effect.stop, what that will do is it'll make it so that if the user hits us with a cog, then the robot will stop smoking. Okay? So that's it for this one, folks. And there's some interesting things you can do as far as like creativity. Don't feel as if with the smoke stuff, like you have to follow my instructions exactly. That's just one way to do it. Okay, so as far as code, we added smoke effect.stop to our fix function, and we added a Boolean called smoke effect. Sorry, not a Boolean. We added another public variable called smoke effect of the particle system type. All right, folks, I wish you the best of luck. Great stuff.